Tonight and tomorrow, you will finally meet Todd Palin in his first interview since Governor Palin was tapped to be Senator McCain's running mate. We met the first dude at his and Governor Palin's house on the edge of Lake Lucille in Wasilla, Alaska. You will see this nowhere else. Okay, help me out. I don't know what to call you. It could be Mr. Palin, Todd, Mr. Todd, First Dude, or Mr. First Dude. I tend to be respectful, but even Mr. First Dude sounds a little funny.
A lot of the folks in Alaska like First Dude, but Todd's fine, and my real close buddies have all kinds of names for me, so you really can't rub me the wrong way.
Thank you.
If your wife and Senator McCain win in November, we got a second problem, is because then, I mean, you're going to be like second dude, or I mean, have you thought about that at all? What are we going to do about that?
Not really, and I'm very easy. So.
You're very easy? All right, okay, well, I should tell you that every place we've been in Alaska, and it's, whenever I say, hey, do you know the first dude, they all start laughing. Do you know that?
No,
they love you here. They love you here. So that must be fun for you.
It is fun for me. I mean, it's fun to travel the state. You know, my role as first spouse of the governor, I've taken on vocational training, so I've got to travel around Alaska, some of the remote villages and training facilities, so it's been fun. I take it that you like where you live. Look at this spectacular view. How long have you lived here? About 6 years, and we're very fortunate to be here. And it is nice for the kids in the summertime. It's a big playground. In the wintertime, about 5 months out of the year, it's a big playground as well, where we snow machine and ice skate on the lake. So this freezes over in the winter? Yes, it does. And you don't go out and fish here, though, because you're a professional commercial fisherman? Once in a while we'll go out and fish, but we have fished here, but I am a commercial fisherman since about 9 years old. How long have you lived here? In Alaska? Or no, I know you lived here, but I mean at this particular property. About 6 years. This is obviously your home. You built it? Myself and some buddies that were contractors helped me put it together, and it was a lot of fun. I couldn't help but see right over here. Let me go over here. Your mode of transportation that's sitting here. Not the little boat, but this plane. You're a pilot? I'm a pilot. What kind of plane is this? This is a 1958 Piper PA-18 Super Cub. How long have you had it? It's been in the family for probably 20 years, 20 plus years. So. How often do you fly this? Not as much as I'd like. So it just comes down to priorities: kids, work, wife's schedule. So. Does the governor fly this? I've taken her one time, I think, in the Cub. So. But she's not a pilot herself, or is she? No, she's not a pilot. So pretty exciting news in the family. It's been quite the experience the last couple of weeks. What's it been like? It's been great. I mean, you know, the first Ohio, meeting the McCains again and just being involved in their team, it's been an incredible experience. All right, take me back to when you first heard that there was a possibility that Senator McCain wanted to talk to you. I mean, what did she do, call you up and say, hey, I guess she doesn't call you First Dude, does she? No. Never, maybe she does, but what happened? I was at work on the slope working night shift, and I think it was on a Saturday. I work Thursday to Thursday, so I've been on the slope for a couple days, and there were some inquiries from certain people about some of our background. And so, you know, the more inquiries, and we didn't know if she was on a short list or, you know, if this was going to be for show. And so I came off the slope early to take care of the kids while she went outside for that day. Okay, that was when, about 2 or 3 weeks ago? Yeah. But did you think, like, back in April, have you gotten wind of the fact that it was a possibility that she might even be on, I mean, that this might be something that happened to your family? There's always been that possibility in the back of my mind. You know, there's some websites out there that have been pushing her pretty hard, and so been instrumental on the final decision, I think. Well, that must have been pretty unusual. I mean, like, you know, all of a sudden one day, I mean, for any candidate to find out that he or she might be tapped for this. You know, for me, it wasn't a huge surprise. You know, I'm just glad that they tapped into her, and I think Americans are seeing what she's about. And so, to me, it's just not a big shock. I knew that she was destined for higher positions, maybe not as soon, but that's just the way she is. Take me back to the first time you met her. How old were you? I was 17. What do you think when you first saw her? Very attractive. You know, an athlete. I think we were in the gym. So, It was our senior year in Wasilla, and I came from a smaller community. And I was a basketball star from that smaller community, and it's hard for a smaller community athlete to come into a bigger school and to be really involved. And so I saw her at basketball court, and we share a lot of things in common: sports, recreation outside.
Well, how do you get her to talk to you? I mean, there must have been, someone had to pick up somebody, at this. I mean, someone had to, start this. How do you start this?
Well, usually a group event, come on over, let's watch a movie somewhere with other friends. So, being the new kid on the block, I was invited to a couple different events, and that's how we really met, from school to that.
And she was everything you thought when you first spotted her, or was she different, or?
She was very shy.
She was?
Oh, she was very shy. So I like that quality a lot.
So, which year in high school was this?
This would have been September, October of 1981.
Right. If I had asked you in September of 1981, do you think you're going to marry her? What would have been your answer?
Yes.
Is that soon?
Well, I just felt that connection, and it was just, I don't know, you just have that feeling.
All right, now, you said she was shy. If I had asked you in September of 1981, do you think she'll ever go into politics?
No.
Okay, why not?
I just didn't see it in her. At that time, our focus was, the basketball team, the state championship, and other activities.
How good was she in basketball?
She was good. She's a good leader, and so real instrumental in their state championship team.
Do you know how many points she averaged a game?
She wasn't one that scored a lot of points. She was the type of player that you wouldn't see her on all the stats, but she was a valuable part of the team.
All right, so you spotted her and you started dating. You didn't expect that she would go into politics, but so what would have been your guess as to what her career path would have been, if she'd even had a career at that point?
Growing up in a home where parents were teachers and educators, she was just going to get onto her degree and be a professional of some sort. That's what I envisioned.
So she then went off to Hawaii at some point to college, right?
Yeah.
What did you do at that time? Were you still boyfriend, girlfriend?
Yeah, we're still boyfriend, girlfriend. I went off to Washington there for a short time, and we always stayed in touch. And I did various jobs. Through those years, she was going to school in Alaska and then in my hometown of Dillingham.
Who brought up the idea first of getting married?
Just through the years, you're with somebody for a while, and it's just mutual at that point.
But you never had any doubt?
Oh, I didn't have any doubt.
So what year did you guys get married?
1988.
When she then, you had started a family, and she decided she wanted to be mayor. Why did she want to be mayor?
When she first ran for city council, she was on city council and just not happy with the way government was running. And so she wanted to make a change. So she served 2 terms as city councilwoman and decided to run for mayor because she felt that the direction that the current administration was going was the wrong one for the public.
Then after she was mayor for 2 terms, she got term limit out, right?
Right.
So she had to stop that. She ran for lieutenant governor, lost.
Yes.
Was that hard?
Not really. It was, she was outspent 5-1. So it was a huge success in our eyes, being relatively unknown and running up against a politician who was well known and had a lot of money. So we looked at that race as very positive.
What possessed her to challenge a Republican then? I mean, she is a Republican when she ran for governor, because that's typically a tough thing to do when you challenge someone within your party. What brought that on?
Which race?
For governor.
The governor? Well, she's all about competition. She wants voters to have a choice. And so there were some other good candidates in the governor's race in 2006, and so she threw her name in as well.
What did you think when she won?
Campaigns are... campaigns are real positive. Traveling the state, meeting new Alaskans. And so when she won, it's very exciting, of course.